Okay. Go. Stop. So lower, turn it on, and off we go again. How's this one doing? Already 63, so 38% of the way through the tank. Yeah. I don't think we're going to do this on one load. I also don't know if we can unload this seeder. It may unload a seed, which I kind of don't mind it doing, because I can then use that seed in one of my planters or harvesters or seeders. Save some money with the on at least one of the other fields. If I can't unload it, then we're going to end up with potatoes I can't do anything with in this seeder. At least not until the next time I come to plant potatoes, which we will do. This field's going to need to be ploughed next after the harvest, because potatoes still got 30,000. And as I said, my other option at the end of this planting session is I can sell the potatoes I have on hand. At least maybe some of them. I'm typically looking at full trailer loads for sale. Keep the leftovers until next harvest, and then once again make up full trailer loads to sell again. So I think we've got enough corn to make up a trailer. Although corn's not as valuable as canola, what is it, soybeans and oats. I might avoid hay producing crops on this particular planting session. I think I've got a lot of straw in the barn. So I don't need any more, at least for now. am I doing? Not quite halfway. Oh yeah, we've only got just over a third of the tank remaining. So I reckon it's not quite 2 full loads of potatoes to do this field with. And to plant anything else would have been, what, 500 litres of seed at worst. This is going to take over 5,000. The other crop, well, I haven't really got into cotton yet, and that's not a prototypical crop for this map. I also haven't done sugar beet, which, ditto, not a prototypical crop for this map. Sugar cane, sorry. Come on, let's go. How's the other one doing? Looking very white. Only 23% on this tank. Yeah, as far as weights go, I do like this one because I can tailor it to whatever I need. Effectively, you buy one per tractor, and if you find what you're trying to lift is a little bit too heavy, nip over to the workshop, put a little bit more weight on it, and you should be good. Problem you have a lot of the time is, oh, I haven't got quite enough weight on this, and short of buying 3 or 4 different size weights and then remembering where you left them all can get kind of expensive. So far this one set me back €1,000, and I should be able to run any weight setting 1,500 kilos or less without incurring any extra cost. Yes, this is the small one. I couldn't afford the big one. That's about 90,000, and I don't have that kind of cash on hand. But as I said earlier, this is this is all a compromise for now. I mean, the cedar over there that I'm planting that huge field now with is also only 3 meters wide. But as I get more bigger fields, I will probably supplement the 3 meter cedar with something bigger. Because I'm still going to have small, tight fields that I'm not going to have a good time trying to turn a large trailed cedar behind me in. At the moment, unless a piece of equipment is going to expand my farm capabilities rather than make the farm tasks easier because it's larger, then that's my primary goal. I haven't been paying attention, but we might make it up and down the field one more time. And we're nearly done. I'm surprised. But then again, when it comes to potato harvesting, the only thing I've got is the tractor hauled equipment, which I have to run separately because I don't have a tractor big enough to haul the combined unit. Also, doing it separately is easier. Okay. I definitely don't think 49 litres is going to make it back down to the end of the field. Still a little light on the front. Oops. Cut that a little bit too close. I suppose we should also turn the cedar off. Don't think it's got a fold option, so that's okay. Okay, I missed. No, I'm not even there yet. There we go. Zoot. And we are full of spuds. And that one's nearly finished. Might set the 515C off on fertilising the field it's already done. So it doesn't get too far ahead of itself. Oh, that was the change I've made since last week. Or no, actually 2 weeks now. We didn't play this map last week because lots of kids in the house. But the change I did make was to change crop growth rate to slow. So we shouldn't get caught out like we did last time, where we went to sleep overnight and the crop matured to ready to harvest, so we couldn't get rid of the weeds on one of the fields. I think that next day it started raining, so I didn't have enough time to harvest the crop on the field. Which basically put us total loss on the field. Because we'd planted it, we'd fully fertilized it, and then we got zero crop recovered from it. By putting it on slow growth, hopefully it'll take longer than a night to become ripe, ready to harvest. So we will have a chance to kill weeds if it comes to that. And 2, we'll have a day and a half in which to harvest, from ready to harvest to withered. And hopefully we shouldn't end up with a day and a half's worth of rain. Downside is, of course, it takes longer for the crop to grow, so we're going to be waiting for longer. However, that does mean I can do contracts and other stuff to bring income to the farm in other ways. So bets on who's going to finish first, him or me. I think I might, but barely. Too much there. Oh yes, indeed. So once we've got this done, and that one done, yeah, we're going to win this. So I'll be able to put this planter away for a time. I don't really have anywhere to store it at the moment. So things are going to start getting a little bit cramped in the shed. I don't have to worry about holding on to too many potatoes, I guess. because no matter what happens, when it comes to harvesting this field, I'm going to have tens of thousands of litres of potatoes out of it. Which would be enough to plant this field and then some. I suppose I could look at putting some of the equipment in the tractor shed. Maybe the seeder and the fertilizer. Oh, we got fertilizer. Yeah, the seeder and the fertilizer I could put in the tractor shed. Usually yes. On a farm that you okay, let's do this. Silos. So you can either go with something like this, which you can store your potatoes and beets in, and that's quite efficient. It's quite expensive. However, these sheds also can hold potatoes and beets, sugar cane, and wood. Is that wood chips? I think that's wood chips. Chaff. Manure, silage, possibly TMR, and that might be lime. I don't know. But anyway, you can store lots of stuff in these. But if you're limited to a regular silo, you can't put potatoes or beets in them. So normally I would go and sell them, but if I wanted to keep some, I would use from the belt system this thing, which you put potatoes in or beets in, and out of this side the little wooden crate appears and 2,000 litres of whatever you've loaded it with will drop into it. And it's quite easy to store a couple of, even a dozen crates of beets and or potatoes. Very efficient storage. I mean, you put potatoes on the ground and they use up a ton of space. Put them in a silo, they take no space at all. But put them in crates, and the crates are fairly, small and manageable. They're about half the size of a seed pallet. So, if I was going to do pigs on, what is it, Old Stream Farm? Old Stream Farm silos don't take potatoes or beets. I would harvest the field. I'd put, create 6 to a dozen crates of beets, and then pretty much sell the rest immediately, because there's nowhere to put them all. On Lawfolds, what I ended up doing was I harvested an entire field of beets and just unloaded them into one of the sheds. But that shed I needed for equipment, so as soon as the harvest was done and I had time to travel with the tippers, I got myself a belt, the 2 belt loader things. So one of those and one of those, and sucked all of the beets out of the shed and put them in the tipper to take to harvest because I just didn't have the room to hold on to them. And law folds isn't too well designed for placeables. As I said, this farm, storing potatoes and beets is not a problem. So I don't need to go out and create crates of them. And that's what I thought. Yeah, the stump grinder gets in the way on this field so that the tractor thinks its course is blocked. How are we doing with seed? Oh, we got lots of seed, so we're fine. Shuffle over a little bit more. And we'll set that off again. Okay, we have one more strip to do. And then we are done planting our potatoes. Okay, that'll do. Dried it. Yeah, 10 or 12,000, that's 5 to 6 crates. And it's kind of a lot of money to spend on the packer to create the crates. In that sort of situation, I'd probably lease the packer, make as many crates as I wanted, and then return it. Because you really don't need that many potatoes in storage unless, like I said, you're becoming a professional potato farmer. And that all looks fine and wonderful. Why is that grey? Because we haven't... Okay, because we haven't fertilised it yet. So we can take this back to main yard. So I think for the first time ever in my farm sim career, I am going to harvest potatoes for the second time on a map. And he's blocked again. Ugh. Dude, they're not even in the field. Yeah, we've got to wait on the front of this one. So, you keep going. Let's see if we can unload this. I'm not holding out much hopes. Okay, you can't get potatoes out of a potato harvester. Planter. Once they're in, they're in. So, how does that look? I'm going to put this in the equipment shed. Where the other seeder came from, which is just over here. So, in a way, it's a good job I didn't get the 6-meter one, because I'm not sure it would have fitted in here. Okay. What was I going to do next? The other tractor's going to do the fertilizing thing. I'm going to put the weight here. Oh, there we go. There goes the airplane. And I don't recall. I think I parked the trailer in this end. It's the front. Yeah. The other thing I don't commonly do in Farm Sim is have a dolly trailer. But that's only because I can drive forwards into everywhere on this map. Okay, that should be good. No, why did I do that? Let's keep it connected. Potatoes. So we've still got 40,000 litres of potatoes. That's 2 trailer loads. When are we going to sell them? I don't know. Imitators. No, that's egg. That's eggs. Yeah. That's taters. Oh, up at the vehicle shop again. So this is not going to be worth a lot of money. It'll save holding on to them. And may need to do another check once we've unloaded these. Although I have found in the past with potatoes and sugar beets, they're such low value crops that the standard deviation on price drop when you sell a ton is not that significant. Not with the volume that you're dealing with. There we go. So this should probably be no more than 5,000. Oh, I may be wrong. This may be more valuable than I thought it was. 6,700. Hey, that makes me happy. But it is a lot of work just to make that little amount of money. Helper F has completed their task. Okay. So that'll leave us with 3,000 litres of potatoes left, plus what's in the ground. Okay, we will drop this over here, I think. My favourite little Amazon spreader that does lime as well. Okay, we have 2 fields to fertilise. Nope, not that.